Hey, welcome to Genre Chat. I'm Caleb Walton, your host, and today we're going to be talking with Beckie Lindsey. Hey, Becky, how are you today?
Hey, I'm
Good to
good.
have you with us. Becky, we're going to talk today about young adult fiction. I know this is a really special topic for you because you just had your first novel. It's a young adult novel released. Was it last year or this year?
It was this year,
It was this
February.
year, and then the second one is coming out in September. Is that right?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I know that's really exciting. I can't wait to read it. What's the name of the series, and tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay. Well, the series, it's actually a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 3 books, and the name of the series is Beauties from Ashes.
Okay.
And book 1 that came out in February, that book is called Secrets. And book 2 that's going to be coming out in September on my birthday.
Oh, that's
On
like
my birthday. Can you believe that?
ever. Did you?
I'm having my own birthday party. Okay, I'll talk to you about that
We
later.
have like a book release birthday party. We could do a
I totally am committed. I am. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyway, so book 2 is entitled Uninvited.
Mhm.
But book 1 that's already out there that you can access now is Secrets. So the best way to explain it, I think, would be just to give you the hook. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the back cover.
Please
So
do. Yeah, go
that
ahead.
kind of incorporates it. And if you see my eyes going that way, it's because I have notes. Because
I love it.
I'm somebody that needs notes, or I will talk. Yeah.
I'm a note taker. My desk at work is covered with 5 million sticky notes. So you go right ahead.
Yes. Okay. So it's to keep me on track because you don't want me on rabbit trails. So we'll try to stay on this subject. Okay. So this is the hook from the book. Every girl has a secret she hopes the light will never find, but the demons already have. So we've got 4 girls, 4 sets of secrets, and 4 that are searching for answers. And so these girls, they would not be friends, but the secrets are what draws them together. So there's a lot of drama, girl drama going on. You've got to have that. Got to have a cute guy in there. But I thought it would be fun to throw in some angels and demons too, you know.
I love that kind of like the out of the box thinking. I mean, what inspired you to write this? This is exact. I mean, that's the exact kind of stuff I love to read. What inspired you to write the story?
Well, there's a lot to that. Let me try to. I'm going to look at my notes so I can, it's kind of a coming of age thing, that young adults that's where they're at. We all can identify back to that time in our lives. I love kids and I love young adults. Got kids, tons of kids at my house, band practice, Bible studies and girls groups and movie nights and all of that. So I'm around kids a lot. And I also know what they're reading, know what they're watching. And so when I discovered some of the stuff that they were reading and watching, I'm like, okay, that was an inspiration to set up something that's exciting, that's got that, Pretty Little Liars was a little bit of an inspiration. That's why I have 4 main characters, and also just to have that supernatural element. But I wanted to put a spin of like truth in there too, and a redemptive quality, because as much I could see why my girls were watching this and reading these, because they're exciting. There's pretty girls, there's cute guys, there's drama, there's scary, mysterious elements to it, and like the vampire books too. There's all of that. So I wanted to do that, but also puts a biblical perspective, but weave it in there that's not cheesy and not preachy, which is not easy to do.
And that's something that really is missing in the. I mean, that is sometimes can seem like it's missing in the industry. So I feel like a lot of people are going to identify with the story and really enjoy. I'm enjoying it. I'm reading it now and I'm enjoying it. So,
good. Okay. So the first book that probably took me from. Can you hear me? Okay, because I lost. Oh, okay, now I hear you. From idea to actually getting it down on paper and really deciding I'm going to make this happen, that was like 3 years. Wow. The second book, that was like 7 months. So I learned a little bit as I was going along.
Any kind of creative writing? Is this your first project that you've worked on?
Oh, no. I mean, I've been writing. I am a storyteller. Anybody who knows me back from my childhood will tell you, how some people, they become teachers and you find out that as a little kid, they made everybody sit down and everybody and I have to, do their homework. Well, I made everybody sit down and I'm telling you stories and you better believe it.
I love that. I love
Yeah, I have my friend that's known me my whole life just laughs that, oh my gosh, you're getting paid to lie. You're just making up this stuff.
It's not like they're parables. They're parables.
Yes,
They're not.
they're parables. Thank you for bringing that up, because actually that is a huge part of this, is just the whole storytelling thing. And Jesus spoke in parables, and he did it for a reason, because you get past intellect, not that we don't want to use our minds, but it goes straight to the heart. And that's why I was so excited to write in fiction, because Caleb, I am dealing with some very difficult issues in this book. And I did that on purpose because of my contact with kids and what I know is going on today. So I'm dealing with some issues, tough things like body image, bulimia, sexual abuse, even incest. And I did that purposely because I've done my research. I'm also a journalist on the side. I do freelance for our paper.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I do a little freelance work. And I'm the editor for SoCal Christian Voice. It's a news Christian news magazine. So I have that a little bit in my background. So I like to do my research. But when I was researching about abuse, because some of this came up in topic with girls, and it's some sad stats out there. Every 8 minutes, Child Protective Services, they substantiate abuse and sexual abuse on kids. So that is part of the reason why I wanted to have a character that dealt with this in these books. So because it's happening and it's not being talked about. And like we were saying about talking and speaking in a parable or talking in fiction form, it feels safer. If you've read, you identify with that character, and you can maybe feel free that you could talk about it. So I designed it as a fictional story, but then at the end, there are study questions. It's optional. You could do it by yourself. I'm giving an explanation of the spirit realm, as well as, talk about some of these taboo, whether in church or not church, subjects. So, and then as far as the demons and angels, why I decided to do that. C.S. Lewis, such a huge fan. Frank Peretti.
Completely.
And these totally changed my way of looking at things. I've done a lot of research in the Bible of what the Bible says about the spirit realm and the angels and the demons. And, Ephesians 6 tells us we're not battling alone. There's something else there. And these are demonic beings that are strategic and they're smart. And they mess with us. So that's where that came from. But I didn't want to highlight too much the demons and not give credit to who's way more powerful, which is God and his angels. And let me tell you, if you read scripture, think about when an angel first appeared to the shepherds to announce the birth of Christ. They were terrified. They were terrified for a reason, because these are massive, powerful, godly beings that are here and they help us. And we may not see it. Sometimes I think we can experience it. So I thought, we talk about like metaphorically, oh, my demons, the things that, are difficult to overcome. Well, there's more than a metaphoric meaning there. So anyway, I decided to take these issues that the girls have. For example, bulimia. One of the girls struggles with her body image and bulimia, and there's a demon called, its name, he's not a he, it's it, is bulimia. And, descriptive wise, he's like stringy legs and big pot belly. Then there's a demon of suicide. And then this one is a snake and scary. And, so yes, there's that scary element, but then we've got Silas and Theo and these awesome angels of God. And
that's what really struck me, is the visual descriptions. It was fantastic. I could picture the whole thing. It was almost like watching a movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yay. Okay. I was rabbit trailing, so keep me on track. You get me talking about this.
I know it does deal with a lot of, really serious issues. What age range is it written for? Is it like from the teenagers, or more of the older, like 18-year-olds, or what age range were you aiming for?
Okay. Well, I would not recommend, seriously, we have a trigger warning in the beginning of these books. And that's just letting people know this book does deal with sensitive issues. It could possibly trigger if you've had issues with bulimia or suicide. So we say this in the beginning of the book. And my amazing publisher, Deb Haggerty with Elk Lake,
Yeah,
decided that was a good idea. Yeah, yes, I love her. And Crystal Phelps, who's the editor. I just want to give props to them. And to my agent, Kyle Young and Tessa Hall. They're great people. So I'm just giving props.
You
Yeah,
got a
to
really
these
good team
people.
on your side, a really good team.
Right. Amazing. So, and I probably can talk about that later, but that was an opportunity to give credit because, man, none of this would happen without that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we do put a trigger warning. I would say probably not older than 13 or younger than 13 or 14 because of the subject matter that we're dealing with. However, I know that kids younger than this know these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but they might not be mature enough to walk through this type of a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, so, reading and writing is almost a telepathic connection, I've always felt. So it's, you got to be very careful what if you're prepared to let it into your mind. So
yes. Yeah. Oh, that's definitely true. So, but I have noticed, even though, I mean, I did write this for young adult, I am surprised. It's been like a 50-50 that I'm getting all this feedback from adults. And I think, again, because of the dealing with the supernatural, and people are like, whoa, I didn't think of it like that. And then like people have not healed from these very issues and they're adults now. Exactly. And they're saying that they need help with some of this stuff. Exactly. So I'm seeing, young adults and adults reading it, which is awesome. And
about the YA, I mean, that's one thing that I feel, especially more recently, is young adult fiction is kind of expanding to older adults. Like everyone likes it. What are some of the hallmarks of young adult fiction, and what is it that you think makes it so relatable to every age group?
Okay, that I am going to look at these notes because I'll just talk. Well, all right. First of all, we all remember back to that time when we were young adults. There's still that teenager living in all of us.
I'm kind of still there.
Yeah, well, I'm a little older. When I told you that my birthday party is going to be, it's my 50th birthday. I said, well, 50. Yes, it's going to be my.
I would never have guessed that. I would never have guessed that.
I knew I liked you. Anyway, so we all still have that young adult. Who doesn't like hear one of those songs from our time when we were teenagers and you're just instantly drawn back there? So I think we all have that nostalgia about us and we love young adult for those reasons. And for me, I love the idea, this is that time in your life where you are becoming who you're going to be. All this stuff is happening. And the idea to have any kind of an impact when somebody's looking at, well, who do I want to model my life after? What do I want to do? And they might read something that I wrote and I could make a positive impact. Oh my goodness. That is huge to me. So, but as far as
what you do.
Yeah. But so as far as like the hallmarks, just some of what's out there and that's inspired me. And then I think if you're looking at writing YA, if you want to know what's popular, I'm just going to throw out a few to you. And these are like themes and these are some of the authors. And I just have a few of them. So something that we see a lot is like a solo teen on a quest, to save the world from evil forces, and who doesn't want to read that? So, which is another reason why YA is popular. So look at Hunger Games. Look at Divergent. I mean, these are, they're movies, but I read the books first. Books are always better. They're always better. But they did a good job with these, though, I think. I think they did a good job. So that's...
I do too. I think they did a really good job, especially with the Hunger Games movies. I felt like they were very true to the books there, which was refreshing.
Yes. So that kind of a thing. Or love triangles. It's still popular. It's popular in adult books, too. But that would be Twilight Saga, Stephanie Meyer's definitely got the love triangle thing going on. Dystopian is super popular. So when you're doing this futuristic kind of dark setting, again, Hunger Games can kind of fall into that, or the Divergent. Paranormal, which I feel mine can kind of go in there because of the supernatural elements with angels and demons, although my angels and demons are biblically based. When you read some of the other ones, I don't know where they got it, but they're angels.
I don't know where they got their information from.
No, they're angels and demons that they, it's fiction. So vampires, werewolves, mermaids, fairies, all that kind of stuff. That kind of goes under the paranormal. Beautiful Creatures was a really neat one. That's
I haven't read that, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, yeah, you should look at it. And then Good and Evil, which that's something. I mean, come on. I mean, that's with all genres, but that's a big in YA. I think Shadowhunters by Cassandra Clare, that series. And then another YA theme hallmark would be the Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. Those are huge. And that's that coming of age, discovering your abilities and or absent parents. So to me, those are like some big ones that get covered in the YA.
Now, which ones do you think, I know you mentioned a little bit of the supernatural. How would you categorize your book series? What subgenre would that fall under?
I've just said supernatural. It could be paranormal, like I said, because of the
bit of the coming of age as well, I feel like.
Yes, coming of age. There is a love triangle. I had to throw a little bit of that in there.
They're popular for a reason. I mean, they're popular for a reason. People love them. People follow them. So,
I try not to get too cornball with that, though. And good versus evil is in there as well. I think aren't all most really great books, they've got that good versus evil.
Exactly. That's what makes them interesting. That's what makes you want to root for somebody. What's the greatest lesson that you feel like you learned while writing this book that maybe even surprised you, something you didn't really think you were going to run into while writing young adult fiction?
Some of the stuff that I probably still needed to heal from myself. A lot of prayer going into that, and friends walking me through it, because I went back in my mind to that teenage girl that struggled with some of these issues. And then the other thing is what I mentioned to you before. I couldn't believe, I still am kind of wowed by the fact of the adults who are reaching out and saying, they like this. And I think it's because what I said, and this is what surprised me a lot, is we're all still teenagers. Not that we didn't grow up, okay? We grow up mature, but we're that person inside. And I think we lose that. We get jaded by the world and we forget that fun side of it. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's why YA is so appealing to every age group, is because the plots and the themes are fearless. You're not afraid to get a little silly. You're not afraid to get a little unrealistic. And
I love that.
I feel like we all crave still as adults.
I think you're right. And I'm a big goofball. So I like that. I am. I ask my kids, they're like, oh my gosh, you love cheese. So I have to go back to cheesiness. My daughter was a big part in reading this. She's a journalist as well. That's her degree, is in journalism. So she's read a lot of this. And okay, cheesy. I mean, a little cheese is okay. This is like Gouda. So I'm like, okay, hear you.
That's awesome. Keeping the whole thing in the family. How did this impact your spiritual life? Like, how did you maybe get closer to God through writing this and through doing research in the Bible about it?
Well, I do believe that I think that's a big part of why God put it on my heart to do, because we were on a journey together and learning more about what I needed healing from. So I'm walking along with people in this. I got deeper into researching spiritual warfare, and a lot of prayer went into that. And I do believe that, I don't want to make it sound spooky. I don't want people to think there's a demon under every rock, because God is all powerful, all knowing. Demons are not. They have power. Oh, yes, they do. And we shouldn't second guess that, but we should also have a proper balance. So that's where I think I learned some powerful lessons of, this is some real stuff, and you need to have some prayer and protection. You need to have your armor on every day, like every day. We're all called to be warriors. We are. Whether we want to pick that up and walk with it or not, we are called to be warriors. As long as we're on this planet, we are at war. And I know that just sounds like, and there are days where it's just like, no, this armor is heavy. But it's like, oh, really? So you want to take it off? No. Yeah, exactly. No, I do not. So, and that's some of the dialogue that went on between God and me. And no, I didn't hear an audible voice. I'm not that weird. But and I'm not saying people that, maybe they do.
I know exactly what you mean.
God was showing me that, like, you are, let me show you something real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay. Can you see this?
Hold it up just a little bit. Yes, I can see it perfect.
Warrior. That's my word of the year. And my husband actually gave that to me. Being somebody I love words. At Christmas time, I decided we're all around the Christmas tree, the whole family, and I just wanted to read everybody a little something that I saw in them, that who they are and who they are in Christ, and just, do that. And after everybody's bawling, before opening presents, my husband's like,
Thanks,
warrior. I know. And I'm just like, a warrior. I don't want to, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this, but you know what, whether you choose to or not, we're in this battle. So that is a huge lesson in all of this. And I do believe that because I decided to write this, the enemy doesn't like me, but Jesus loves me and I have his armor. So
you're doing a good job then.
Yeah,
that's true. As long as you're making the enemy mad, you're doing a good job. Now, I know back to a little bit about the research. I know you said you kind of dug into your own experiences as a young adult, as a teenager, some of the things you dealt with. What else did you do to sort of get in that mindset? Did you maybe talk to some members of your family or kind of seek out what they are going through personally, or, what it's like right now as a teenager, the things that you face?
Yeah. I think whatever genre you're going to write in, you need to know your audience. So like you need to read in that genre. And we just need to be reading anyway as authors. That's how we're going to grow, reading other people's work. So I love YA. So it's not a problem to just keep reading these novels, but also I think it's important to be familiar with who your audience is. So yeah, hang out with teenagers, know what's going on in their world, what's happening now is not the same. I mean, think about this. Now you are in the younger, when I was back in the day, I didn't live in a fishbowl the way I think teenagers do now. And I say that meaning social media has opened up so much for teenagers, where your life is out there for everybody to see. And there's like bullying, cyberbullying, and all kinds of stuff that I never would have dreamt or had to even understand. So I think knowing what Snapchat is and Twitter and Instagram and all these things, no, I'm serious. I know so many people are like, what's the Snapchat? It's like, the Snapchat. What's going on with that? You need to understand what's popular and what's happening so that you don't sound like, who's going to want to read something that it's not authentic?
Exactly.
You need to be authentic, So I hope that answered the question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I do want to talk a minute about your writing process. Are you an organic writer, or did you do a lot of outlining for the book? How did you go about doing that?
Okay. I started out because I am a person, I'm like disciplined. I like routine. I have a morning routine and all that stuff. So it just seemed like outlining was going to be the best way to go for me. And I did start out that way, and I was trying to fit. I found myself trying to fit within this outline, and it was squashing me creatively. And so I slowly was emerging from this outline, and it was finally like I really felt like God was saying, have a loose outline. Like you're going here. The rest, you're pantsing it with me. And that's what I'm doing. So, like halfway through book one, it was like, okay, this is suffocating me. So I do have a general idea of where I'm going. And I'm also open to, if God says that's not going to stay, we're getting rid of that. Right? New characters have emerged, and you'll see a few of them in book two because of it. I had no idea we're going to have an antagonist that, other than demons, in book two. That it's like, whoa, where'd she come from? And that's all because
the best way to experience a book is to write it. So I like to be surprised. You need to be a little bit of surprised by some of the things your characters say and do. I mean, they do. They kind of take on a life of their own. They
really do. And I mean, I woke up with ideas and I ask them. I have pictures of my character, of who I imagine them to be, and I have them, and like settings, because my settings are interesting, because I have a school, a high school, the coffee shop, hospital, mental hospital, broken down hotel, where these demons, that's where they meet, is in this broken down, icky hotel, and church. So they're not like I have to get creative. I don't want to give away stuff. Anyway, a mental hospital, but I almost said something that I'll give away book two. I better be quiet.
We don't want spoilers.
Yeah, sorry.
And the city that it's set in, is that a fictional city, or is that an actual place?
Yes, it's California, because like I told you, I'm from California, but somewhere in California.
not it on like a place, like an actual city, and just kind of change some of the names, or is it just like completely purely out of your imagination?
No, it does have like it was like there's a spiritual. You'll notice. I mean, maybe people won't, or maybe they will. My daughter did. Different things have meanings. Like I chose demon names on purpose. Like the demon lord in book 1 has a meaning, and like Greek gods and that kind of thing, and Baal, and I chose Belian for a reason. Book 2, it's Lord Moloch, and yeah, he was a really icky god, and there's other like names like that woven in. So the city is a spiritual name, but it's just made up. I mean, I just use prefix of something, and I don't know. That's what's fun. You get to make stuff up.
Exactly. That's what we love to do. So I know the next book. What's the release date of the next book? I know you said it's on your birthday. It's September. What was the date again?
16th.
September
16th. So that's a Sunday. So having a party, turning 50, and gonna have friends over and celebrate. But we're also gonna like maybe probably an hour, have like a Facebook Live.
I really enjoyed your last one. I attended the one with when Secrets actually was released. Y'all did a great job with that, by the way. It was really good. I enjoyed watching.
Thank you. We had so much fun with that. I mean, I was totally nervous because cameras make me nervous. So I don't mind talking. You are good about making me feel calm, but I don't like.
Thank you.
I don't like cameras. So that was a little unnerving. But my daughter-in-law was there, and my kids and friends, and that made it fun. But this will probably be a little bit bigger of a gathering, and I just figured, why not? You know, I mean, if Deb is going to release this book, Elk Lake, on my birthday, well, heck, I'm having a party.
Hey, that sounds like a fantastic idea. I would love it. That is like the best birthday gift in the world. Yes,
that's how I felt too. I'm like, do you know what day that is, Deb? She's like, hey.
So did you finish the 3rd book? Is that done, or are you still in the process of writing that?
I'm in the process. I've written about 12,000 words, and I've got, as I told you, I mean, I do have other projects that I work on, and so I've got to be disciplined with this. I have word count.
Do you have anything beyond this series planned out, like the next thing that you're going to do?
Yes, I do. I have like a lot of writers do. I have things that have been kind of simmering on the back burner back there. But I do have a work that's coming about that I'm super nervous about this. This would be nonfiction, and I would be helping someone get their story out there. It's I wrote an article about a little girl. Her name is Sophia Peters Campos, and Sophia Peters. She is an amazing little girl, 9 years old, has a weird, just this disease that doctors do not know what in the world, and she has strokes. She's had, when she's had these strokes, God has talked to her, and miracles have happened. Doctors are amazed that this kid's even alive. Anyway, they want their story out there, and I'm going to be able to partner with them. I hope we're talking about this, and I'm saying this now because I'm trying to get the word out there. She actually, she's so adorable, this girl. Her goal was, when she found out she had to have brain surgery back at the first of the year, she said, I just want people to pray, and I'm not trying to get people to pray for me. People need to pray. I just want our world needs to pray. So I want everybody in the world to pray for me so that they're talking to God and they know He's real. And she's 9 and 9 years old. Adorable. She's got a YouTube channel. She goes by Ninja Kitten Sophia, so you can look her up. But anyway, so when this happened,
on that, because I would like to do more information on that. We might even do an episode on that, like when you do start heavily into that project.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing about this is President Trump even got word about this, because this girl said, I want everybody to pray. So it was hashtag, 10,000 prayers, because to Sophia at 9, the whole world praying meant 10,000 people. So President Trump, how things get viral, right? So absolutely. Prayed for her, invited her to the prayer breakfast and everything. So, and since then she's suffered a lot. She's starting to feel a little better. She's going to be coming out here to see her family that's out in California. So I'm going to get to talk to them. So that is a project that we're hoping to make happen. So be, praying for this little girl and her health, and that we are able to do this, because this isn't about elevating this story or this is about God. This little girl has experienced God in a really neat way, and she just wants the world to have hope and faith in God. That's truly her heart, and her parents too. So it's just one of those hope stories. I do not feel qualified because I was going to tell you, I mean, I've watched this show and seen Jerry Jenkins on here, who I've read all of those Left Behind books and several of his other books, and Michelle Matlin Adams, Aaron. I'm like, who am I? I mean, why am I on this show?
I love your passion, and I love it. It makes me want to read even more of the stuff that you've done. I can tell that you just got a real heart for the craft and for the people that you're writing for, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you.
And I feel like even back in Civil War times, Harriet Beecher Stowe, it's always fallen on the writer's shoulders to bring things into light and to get the word out for things that people need to know about. And that's something that I feel like you have a real passion for carrying on. So that is why you're here. That's what qualifies you to be here.
Thank you.
We've actually got a few minutes left. If anybody wants to get in contact with you or maybe find a little bit more out about the books, is there a good website or an email address they can use?
Yes, I do have a website. It's under construction. It's still operating, but I have someone trying to make this look more professional because, I'm a published writer now. I was just blogging, and doing my freelance stuff.
You're gonna get that printed on a T-shirt, don't you? I'm a published writer now.
I know. So I do have the blog website, and it's BeckieLindsey.com, and Becky is with an IE. Thank you, Mom. BeckieLindsey.com, and the books are available Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and I've been thrilled to be able to do a few book signings. That's been so fun. Oh my goodness, dream come true. Yeah, to do that. So that's how
that's like a writer's little. That's like literally.
Oh man, and I'm telling you, I made it fun. It was like we were having candy and chocolate, and if I could have had a coffee pot there, I would have done that too. But so we got to do fun stuff. And so the manager at my local Barnes & Noble really likes me because the books actually sold out. That was really cool. Wonderful. But they I was giving away free stuff and candy, so it's like. I don't want
come by book, get chocolate.
Yes, and I stole that from Michelle because I was in her classes and she was giving out chocolate. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do this. Coffee, chocolate, and kitty cats. That's books.
Well, Becky, I have enjoyed this so much. We need to do this again. I would love to have you back. You're so much fun to talk with, and I just thank you so much for doing this for. Before we go, if you had one piece of advice that you could give an aspiring, really any kind of aspiring writer, but especially somebody that's interested in YA, what would that advice be?
Okay. Couple of things. You got to read. I know that sounds so cliche, but really we need to be reading as authors. We learn by reading, and don't give up. Okay. We have these ideas inside of us. We get all excited, but we're our own worst enemy sometimes. We beat ourselves up. Why am I doing this? Do not give up. Keep writing. Set a schedule for yourself. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to be disciplined. Butt in the chair. Sit your butt down. Or if you stand up and write, I don't know what you do, but just do it. You really just need to just write. Keep writing, even if it's some of the things that I write in the beginning, because I have a word count that I'm trying to meet every day. I just go back and fix it. That's what we do. You know what? We fix it. We edit. Get it on the page because there's bound to be some good stuff in there. So read, and just believe you can do this and do it. Get yourself going. And I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with you. So what I'm going to be reading from you.
Hey, I will definitely be getting in touch with you for some encouragement because you're really good at that. But thank you so much for joining us on here. And I'm really excited to finish your first book and then get a chance to read the second one. But thank you so much for doing this. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. We will see you all next time.
Bye.